It is only when we truly know and understand we have limited time on earth, and we have no way of knowing when our time is up, that we will begin to live each day to the fullest, as if it were the only one we have. "20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. The purpose of life, after all, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for a newer and richer experience. To those who stay put, the world is but an imaginary place. But to the movers, the makers, and the shakers, the world is all around, an endless invitation. So the only question left to ask yourself is, where should you go now?"
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ali Madawi here with a brand new installment of the Young Entrepreneur Projects Yup Daily, where we help entrepreneurs start, grow, or scale a business, or you can mentor other individuals within our platform and make some money for it. But today I'm going to talk to you about all things sales. If you're not generating a sale, you're not making money. If you're not making money, you don't have a profitable business. If you don't have a profitable business, most likely you are not happy. And if you're not happy, you are waiting for that business to say, "Peace out, I'm quitting on you," or you're going to quit on it. Now, I'm going to say good morning to a few of you, good afternoon or good evening, but it's extremely imperative that you understand that this training specifically is to help you today take action and generate a sale. So if you're planning on generating a sale, welcome home. If not, this is going to be an entertaining show for you, and then we can still give you some value that way anyways. But good morning, Winnie from Sydney, Australia. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure that you hit that or smash that share button. Tag a friend who needs to hear this information, and I cannot wait for you and I to collaborate and connect as well. So let's go after it. There are 4 elements that I'm going to give you, 4 key elements that can generate a sale for you today. And if you do not have these 4 key elements, chances are you're going to be wishy-washy and you're not going to get a sale. And there are reasons for that. As human beings, we interact with energy. They call them vibes. I got a vibe about somebody, right? I either click with you or I don't. I feel some type of way about you or I don't. And these 4 elements are going to create the right vibe, the right interaction and connection for you and your prospect to be able to create a synergy, and for the prospect to say, "Take my money," and for you to say, "Take my product," and everybody will be extremely happy. So the very first thing that we got to talk about is the inner element. So the inner elements is all things, or are all things, mindset, right? If you have internal objections in your head, it does not matter how great the product is, how great the price is, how great the opportunity is. It doesn't matter, because you already are projecting the limitations not only from you, but onto the other individuals, such as, "Man, I hope they got money. Man, I'm not sure if they're the right prospect. Man, I'm not sure if they're ready. Man, I'm not sure if they like what I'm offering them. Man, I'm not sure if their wife is going to oppose to what I'm sharing. Man, I'm not sure if they like MLM or they don't." See, all those limitations. Oh, maybe he's already successful. Maybe she's already making X amount of money. Those are internal objections that you are creating for yourself, and they impact your energy, your vocal cords. They impact your tonality. They impact your eye contact. They impact your posture itself. And in many cases, they lead for you to totally skip on that prospect and say, "Not ready for that person yet. That person is in my chicken list." Now, again, I understand why you would feel that way, but I'm telling you, if you work on those inner elements, the limitations that you are experiencing by just changing your thought process, you are going to project a different human being. You're going to project a different area of who you are, which leads to the second element. And the second element is the outer space, the outer element of what makes you who you are. Let me explain. See, are you coming across confident Are you coming across certain of what you're talking about? And are you clear about what you're putting before your prospect? The three C's, right? Confident, certain, and clear. If you have those three elements as a human being, first of all, you're a person of influence. You're a person of influence. Some people are really good at faking it, so they get caught eventually. But if it is a genuine side of you, if you genuinely have that confidence about your journey, your trajectory, your product, your service, your opportunity, your compensation plan, if you are certain, you're going to make a certain milestone happen, and if you are clear on the path how you're going to make that milestone happen, the person who is sitting next to you, they have just this intuition, this moment where like, you know what, let's do it. And we see it all the time on Shark Tank, right? The sharks are sitting in there and they're drilling that person who's pitching them, and they're asking all these ridiculous questions, and they're being hardcore, sometimes borderline rude and mean. And just like that, in a moment, they say, all right, I got an offer for you. That's because eventually the person who was pitching their product or their company ended up having the confidence necessary, the certainty necessary, and the clarity necessary for that shark to say, I'll give you $100,000 more on whatever the product may be or the company may be. So if you don't have your confidence, your certainty, and your clarity, you're going to struggle a little bit. Now, these are tied to inner elements. If your mindset is messed up, man, I don't care what you tell me, you're not going to have confidence, clarity, and certainty. You have to clean up your mindset. And the best way you do that, obviously, is personal development. Now, I'm not telling you sit all day and watch motivational videos or listen to audiobooks. You got to apply what you're learning. So everything that I'm telling you right now, are you actually applying it? Is it applicable to you? Do you need to work on any of those areas? If so, the first step is to admit that you need help. The first step is to admit that you need personal growth and personal development. Reach out to somebody and say, man, I'm bad at this thing. My head is all messed up. And then the second step is taking responsibility that it is 100% your position, your fault, your responsibility. It's all on you, no one else. See, self-esteem is an inside job. That's why they call it self-esteem. If it was someone else's job, they'll call it someone else's esteem. So it's extremely important for you to work on your mindset in order for your outer elements to have the right projections, if you will. And by default, you're going to realize that your prospect is reacting in such a positive manner to you as well. The third element is product value. So here's my rule when it comes to product values. If I don't use it, if I don't eat it, if I don't shower with it, if I don't, make money from it, if I don't eat it, if I don't wear it, I don't talk about it. There are a lot of people who reach out to me every single day. Ali, you will do great. You'll make $1 million with us, blah, 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 blah. If it is not something that I know for a fact that I'm going to consume, regardless of the compensation plan behind it, no, it's an automatic no. I get people every day, people who offer bonus checks and, extra compensations and offers and deals. Sounds great, but it's just not my area of expertise or my passion. How much money you can make from real estate? A lot of money. That's not my passion. You know how much money you can make from certain health and wellness products? That's just not my passion. You know how much money you can make from crypto, auto binary stuff? That's not something I care about, or it's not my passion, right? So if it is something that I will consume myself as a first-hand consumer, I will absolutely go ahead and sell it, right? So if your product, this is why there's product value. If the product that you are selling, I remember when I was, my God, story time. I remember when I was 19 years old, the very first time I was exposed to the concept of sales. It was vacuums, Kirby vacuums. They convinced me that it was a job, but I did not know it was a direct sales company with vacuums. So, and I would go everywhere, and I would do like a whole 45-minute vacuum in somebody's house, showing them how it works and doing a whole demo. Look at how this works, and look at how this works, and look how dirty your mattress is, and look how dirty behind this is. And I would do the whole thing. And the whole time, like, wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. And the whole time in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting this sale. Oh, I'm so walking out with a sale. And then they asked the $1 million question. They're like, because we had different colors and different styles of the vacuum. They're like, You know, when I'm like, we have this one, and they ask me, which one do you have? Yeah, it was a $1,700 vacuum. Lifetime warranty and all that stuff is great, but it was a $1,700 vacuum. And I would be like, well, I'm only 19 years old. I don't even have my own place. Well, does your mom have one? Not yet. So automatically they're like, you're selling me something that you yourself you're not using. And it happens a lot in network marketing where a lot of people are selling the motivational speaker mindset. Well, they are so insecure, destroyed in their own mindset. I know people who scream the top of their lungs how they're manifesting greatness and everything is amazing while they are broken little boys and little girls. I know that because they reach out to me for help, crying about how they feel inferior and jealous and so on and so forth. So please do not sell something that you're not consuming yourself. That's the first rule of product value. The second rule of product value is really learning and understanding your product. Now, I'm not telling you have to know all the different intricacies of all things when it comes to the product itself that you're selling or the service you're selling, but you got to know the things that excite you about it first. You got to know the things that most people are concerned about for the most part. Think about it as a frequently asked questions, right? Have a little list. Reach out to somebody around you that's working with you. Hey, can you like help me out with like the top 10 things that people want, like, don't want about this? And when you understand the product value, you can give a decent presentation by showcasing what the person really, really cares about. Now, there are different techniques when it comes to presenting, right? Me personally, I like to ask questions. Hey, what motivated you to meet with me today? What part of the product caught your attention or piqued your interest? If you had the product today, what would you want to do with it? And from there, I formulate my presentation to the need of the individual. That's what works for me. Some people like to do the slide deck style, right? Like from top to bottom. And I'm going to give you the history of the company, the history of the product, the value of the product, the offer itself, and the call to action with a bonus, fast start bonus. I don't do that. I like to go about it Entrepreneur 101. I'm going to ask you some questions and then I'll figure out what's important to you and just focus on that. So if you don't have product value, meaning if what you're selling, the person doesn't care about, right? I'll give you an example. There was years ago, a young lady that reached out to me because she wanted to be a grievance coach to people who are grieving. She wanted to coach them. I didn't know how to help her. I tried my very, very best. But I didn't know how to get her over the hump. And we both came to the realization that no one really cared about such a sad niche, like people who are grieving, they go to their family members first and foremost, and their family member would suggest somebody. She just did not have an exciting thing that people are going to be like, man, that's such a valuable offer, right? No one is looking forward to grieving. So if your audience doesn't care about what you have, either you're talking to the wrong audience or you have the wrong product at hand. Now, if the product is selling and it's selling really, really well, clearly you're talking to the wrong audience. But if no one is selling that product and everybody's struggling, you're going to have to reevaluate the product. And sometimes it just may not be the right product for you and for your audience. Now, the fourth element is that your value. So this part right here, I'll simplify it like this. Are you your prospect's partner in the conversation, in the dialogue, or are you your prospect's hunter? See, in many cases, people who are in sale, they give this energy of, I'm hunting you. You look like a steak to me and I want to eat and I'm going to do whatever it takes and I'm coming after you, prospect, and I'm going to be so strong and I'm going to overcome every objection. Right? Like they have this mindset of I have to be aggressive in order to close the deal. Well, I'm here to tell you that the best thing that worked for me, at least, and I've done about $2 billion of sales in the last 14 years, which, by the way, is not much at all. If you calculate 14 billion divided by the amount of years that I've been in business, it doesn't add up to much. But when you collectively put it together, there's a little bit of track record that I've been able to create some value for many organizations, companies, and for my own products and services. And the best way that I have done it is by being my prospect's partner. Like I've mentioned earlier, when it came to a product presentation, I didn't just come and start providing a presentation. I asked questions. So what motivated you to meet with me today? Okay, awesome. And what piqued your interest about the product? Great. And what were you hoping to use the product for? That makes sense. And if you could have everything that you wanted today, what would it look like? Great. And what would be the appropriate budget that you would have allocated today to make all the things that you just mentioned to me come to life? So by the time I have that information, I know how much the person wanted to spend. I know how they're going to use the product. I know what part of the product they're going to use. Now I just have to deliver what they told me they're looking for. It's the concept of a server. May I take your order, please? Yes, I'll take a lemonade. I'll take this appetizer. I'll take this meal. I'll take that. And you just have to do a good job or a great job delivering everything that guest in your restaurant wanted on time and the way they liked it. And then you get a tip or tips with S at the end. You know what tips stand for? To ensure prompt service, just so you know. So if you want to get that commission or to ensure prompt commission, is you have to just communicate very, very well with that person, that prospect. I care about you. I'm a person of value to you. I'm here to provide you with solutions, not here to take money out of your account. If you were to tell me exactly what it is that you want, I'll provide it to you and you'll be extremely happy. Now, does that mean that every single person is going to be like, yes, ask me all the questions? You're going to have a lot of people who are closed-minded, who have this crazy head, who just don't want to listen to anything. Now, that's your fault, because if you've worked with me long enough, I always talk about an expectation agreement. An expectation agreement is before you meet with the person, you let them know beforehand, hey, we're going to meet for 30 minutes. Here's what we're going to go over. Here's what we're going to try to achieve. And here's how long I'm going to be in there by the time I get out. So an expectation agreement should automatically have that yes, 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 and yes, see you then. So you already know what you're walking into. But if you walk into a meeting and you got somebody who's really negative, who's really skeptical, either you did not do a good job when it comes to the expectation agreement, and or you got to ask that person straight up. And I do all the time. Hey, may I ask you a question? You know, when I asked you what motivated you to meet with me today, you shared that you wanted to learn more about the product. You told me what your budget was. You told me everything that I just gave you. And I provided exactly what you wanted, but you're still not willing to go forward with it. I just want to understand, why did you still agree to meet with me, even though I'm giving you everything you wanted and you're refusing to move forward? And I want to hear it. And I ask that because I want to know what I'm doing wrong. And it's okay if that person is not going to do business with me today, but I want to know for the next person. So it's absolutely important for you to have a clear conversation. And that goes back to the outer, right? The confidence, the certainty, and the clarity. If I'm confident, I'm going to ask you, hey, just out of curiosity, I gave you everything that you asked for. Is there a reason we're still not doing business today? That's me being confident that I know for a fact what I have is what you need and is the best thing you can absolutely find. So you definitely want to make sure that you ask the right questions, not be mean or rude, but just be confident in your conversation. Eye contact. If you struggle with eye contact, here's one tip that I have for you. Look at their eye color. Try to identify their eye color as you're talking. So doing so, you know, like your brain is somewhat going like, are they blue? Are they hazel? What color? But it gives you the ability to give eye contact. Or sometimes you can look at the top of their nose, because eye contact could be an intimidating thing to do. That's why when most people, when there's eye contact, the brain automatically takes that as a threat. That's when somebody looks at us directly at our eyes, we look sideways, or we turn this way, or we avoid it because it automatically feels like a threatening thing to us. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to create the right environment through these 4 elements that I've shared with you. Now, objections, and this is a bonus tip for you. Objections are not a bad thing. Objections are incredibly important in business. Objections are essentially an opportunity for you to pivot and deliver. Pivot and deliver and ask for the sell again. So when somebody says, you know, I just don't think I have the time, I usually ask, well, that's a great question, and I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same exact way when I started myself, but here's what I found out. And then I educate them on, here's what I do every single day. And by the way, when the best way to even avoid all this, when somebody asks you a question, just respond with their question as a question. So when somebody says, I don't have time, I usually say, just so I understand, you don't have time for, like, what are you expecting to do? And the interesting thing, people automatically just assume that they have to do 40, 60 hours, let's say, in direct sales. And when I say, I'm like, you don't have time for, like, well, I'm sure I got to put like 5 to 10 hours a day. I'm like, dude, no, this ain't a job. No, you work around your clock. So early in the morning, late night, hour off, whatever makes the most sense for you. I cater my time to you. You don't cater your time to me. And even if you were to commit to live events, we have like 1 hour on Monday night and 30 minutes on Thursday night. Those are really the expectations of the events themselves. But other than that, we work around your schedule. And it gives the person ease, like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, man, it's really that simple. Besides, we just add people to groups, tag them in message afterwards with me, and let me do the rest. If you can handle that, welcome to my world. And you hear the comfort of like, wow, that's actually awesome. Great. Well, if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and get you on right now. And then pull in the sell again, right? Oh, well, I'm not sure I can afford the money today. Well, when I asked you what would be the appropriate budget, you told me that's what you could afford. So let me ask the question again. What can you afford today so I can offer you something that's within your budget, not within mine? Yeah, well, I can probably do half of that. Great. Let's go ahead and get you started. You're going to get less this, less this, less that, but we can definitely get you started today. Just ask the right question with the question that they gave you. You know, I'm very, very skeptical, man. You're very skeptical about, it's just the whole MLM thing. Well, what is MLM to you? My Uncle Johnny was in a company 5 years ago and the company shut down and they had this and that. Man, I totally would know why you feel that way because I felt the same exact way when it happened to me. But here's what I found out. And then you educate, and get wow, that actually makes sense. Great. Well, if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and get you going. Always ask for the sale again. Doing these few different elements are going to allow you to generate a sale, but you have to do your part. You can't just come in here and high five and say, yay, this is exciting information. You got to apply. My plate is full. Man, buy a bigger plate. When people say my plate is full, I actually like that. When I hear my plate is full, I ask, well, would you mind sharing with me what's your plate full with? Because I can tell you, I cater to thousands of people in 6 continents, and I work with an executive team from a corporate side, and I'm developing a team. I have a podcast, I have a vlog, and I have 2 kids and a wife that I cater to as well. And I'm capable and able to do a whole lot more. But just share with me what you're doing. Maybe I can advise you on what you may be doing wrong. And I hear, I spent 4 hours on this opportunity, and when they say that to me, I'm like, dude, you must be a millionaire then. No, far from it. Why not? Well, no one is talking to me, and then I'm bringing them right back where I want them. They're sharing with me their pain points. I educate a little. I teach a little. I'm like, if we can collaborate together to empty that plate and allow you to be more effective and efficient, would that be something of value to you? Yeah, absolutely. What would be the appropriate budget if we could do that today? I don't know. Here's the price point. Great. Let me see if we can make that happen. And I enroll them every single day. Every single day. Yeah, if somebody says I can't afford $147 in the nicest, kindest way possible, like, well, let me just ask you a simple question. How long have you had that problem, and what are we willing to do about it? Because if you're an adult in the Western civilized world and you don't have $147 in this day and age, where you can do Grubhub or Uber or Lyft, where the average Uber or Lyft driver pulls anywhere from $150 to $300 a day. So don't tell me you can't make money. Facebook Market, go to your attic, go to your basement, go to your closet, put a whole bunch of stuff, take pictures that you've had in your closet for umpteen years and watch them sell real quick. If you want it, you can actually make it. But again, ask in a nice way possible and then just educate. So you gotta make sure that you are a partner in the process, not a hunter in the process. If you are a hunter, the person is going to feel defensive, and it does not matter how good you are, how good the product or the compensation plan is or the offer is. They're going to find a way to escape out of that conversation and tell you the ultimate, let me think about it. By the way, when you get let me think about it, here's what you say. With all the respect, if I might be frank with you, over the last 14 years that I've been in business, man, and over 50,000 plus people that I've worked with personally, I've found out that every single time somebody tells me, let me think about it, they never called me back and they say, hey, thought about it. Here's my card. Let's get started. So out of respect to you and out of respect to what I do, if I may, what can we do right here and right now to turn let me think about it to, yes, I'm ready to get started right now. And stop talking. They'll tell you, well, if about give me till 6 o'clock today, I'll move some money around or whatever the case may be. Great, man. I'll be waiting for you. I really appreciate you being straightforward with me, and I'll look to be an honorable partner for you to help you out with exactly what we talked about. I'll call you back at 5 and then move forward. But don't let anybody run away with let me think about it, because that's just not how it works. Anyways, I gave you an extra 5 minutes today. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Today is Thursday. So we are going to be doing some surprise webinars in different verticals that we have. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time specifically, yours truly is going to be doing a live overview of the Young Entrepreneur Project. Now, when I say a live overview, this is not deck slide weird, your grandma's MLM stuff. No, this is actually, I'm going to show you the dashboard that our entrepreneurs use and how they use it to start, grow, or scale a business, plus how you too can be a mentor within the Young Entrepreneur Project and get paid for it. Or you can become a shareholder, as our crowdfunding for one of our subsidiaries went live. NASDAQ, we're getting very, very close. We have an event this Saturday in Pennsylvania. So make sure you let me know. I've already paid for 15 people to come out. I want to pay for you too. So let me know if you are not part of the Young Entrepreneur Project and you are around PA, you want to come out for a 6-hour event, 5-hour event with all of us and master coaches, where we're going to give you everything that we do. Imagine this 25 minutes, but 5 hours with a whole lot more amazing people who even are better than me. So I appreciate and thank each and every one of you. And until next time, peace out, everybody.